beautiful wild horses near Saguaro Lake will soon be a part of the past. At 6:30, the controversy over moving wild horses along the Salt River stirring up a lot of anger and outrage. The Forest Service plans to permanently remove more than 100 horses.
I cannot imagine how many hearts will be broken if the federal government is allowed to corral these horses.
How to find a sanctuary.
It just boils down to a safety concern for the Forest Service. So we have horses out there on Forest Service lands. We have no authority to manage horses, and this is how we're proceeding to remedy the safety issue.
They want to take the horses away because something might happen. Something might happen with an elk or a deer or any other animal. The horses have never hurt anybody.
Okay, I've been hunting from the Salt River all the way up to Heber, and one thing you notice when you can't find any natural game is there are pods of wild horses or feral horses or invasive species wherever you go.
So
They've pushed out
killing other animals?
So they've pushed out the natural population of wildlife in those areas.
I suppose there is an argument that if the wild horses weren't there, the deer population would rise, which would give way for hunters. I don't know if that's necessarily something we should advocate or go for. To go in and change kind of the natural order that's been established in an area just to increase the productivity of hunting seems a bit self-serving and sort of a mockery on the ethics of life.
I really like to be able to see them when they just come into the river, and then they're all just trailing behind one another and making sure it's safe for the next one.
The big debate right now, August 2015, the Forest Service decided that they were going to run off all the horses and round them up, offer them up for sale, dispose of them as they wanted to in order to clear them away from the land which has been their home for probably almost, at least to our knowledge, over 100 years, probably longer. We got very excited about the issue recently because people like me, people like Evan, we love the horses and we want them to stay. It's their home, and if it poses a threat to public safety, then there are other ways that we can deal with it besides just rounding up all the horses and kicking them out of their homes.
Where do you think the wild horses came from?
You know, there's a couple different theories. One of them is that they came from the Salt River Indian Reservation hundreds of years ago and have continued to live there and have bred and existed for that whole length of time. Another idea is that perhaps farmers no longer wanted horses and abandoned them at the river, and then they became what they are today. But I think it's important to know it's really hard to prove either theory, and the point is that the horses have been there for as long as they have. The river bottom is their home, and they most definitely deserve to stay where they are. People come from all the way across the country, people come from other parts of the world to see our wild horses. The idea that the Salt River wild horses would no longer be at the river bottom is devastating to me and a lot of other people too. Part of the draw of going to the river is the fact that you might see the horses, that their presence exists there, and the idea that that could go away, it's just absolutely heartbreaking. And I definitely know that I'm not the only one who feels that way.
I suffer from PTSD, and this is the most relaxing thing to me. It's better than any therapy I get to see with mental health professionals.
The important thing to do now is to understand that we've gotten the attention that we need. The Forest Service has agreed to stop any plans to round up any horses. We now have the attention of Congress and the Senate, and it's important that we keep the momentum that we've created going.
Wild and free, let them be! Wild and free, let them be! Wild and free, let them be!
We love the Salt River Wild Horses.
We enjoy the Salt River horses.
Long before the city came to be, a river ran through desert lands, calling out to living things in need. Wild horses came and made their claim. Where the water flows, every creature knows how to find their sanctuary. When to gather round, swimming in the sound of their precious sanctuary. Long before this population grew, they left their tracks, kept coming back. Seems like we came right out of the blue and crept into